Screen's a graph of the Dow Jones. You can see there that it's moving into our target range that we've been expecting the rebound to travel into over the next session or two. Tonight we have the CPI data being announced, which will probably set the scene for whether the market, how interest rates, in particular the 10-year bonds in the US, how they start to react, which will have an impact on some of those yield-sensitive names that we've been looking at. But our base case is that the US equities are probably starting to sort of capture this initial rebound and will run into resistance in tonight or early next week. If we have a look at the impact it's having on some of the stocks that we've been watching, the oil and gas names have probably been one of the sectors that the algo engines flagged buy signals across sort of Woodside, Origin, Santos, also Oil Search. So up on screen's a graph of Woodside. Their result came in pretty much in line with expectations today. However, the stock's in suspension pending details being announced around an acquisition and a capital raising. So we'll continue to watch that over the next day or two. Origin Energy, we like this name and sort of feel that around this $8 to $8.40 is a range and investors want to keep an eye on it. Also Tabcorp, just revisiting a couple of the names that we've looked at over the last week. Tabcorp looks to be oversold down here at around $4.50 and we're looking for that to recover. AGL also is oversold, and if these CPI numbers out tonight are a little bit weaker than expectation, AGL is an example of a yield-sensitive name that should do a little bit better in tomorrow and next week's trading. Amcor, so I've just got about 10 stocks just to cover off in this morning's report. So Amcor down here at around this sort of low $14 range. Looks like it's good buying opportunity. Westfield, we continue to feel that sort of this is a yield-sensitive name's getting a little bit oversold, and we may see a restructure or an alternative bid for the Westfield takeover. A number of investment banks have published some research on expectations that we may see a revised offer there, which will help add value to Westfield. We've got Newcrest reporting its earnings results tomorrow, so that's one that we'll be keeping an eye on. I'll provide an update tomorrow on that. Sydney Airport's a little like Transurban. Sydney Transurban approaching oversold areas. Transurban's earnings result came in pretty much in line with expectations. So if we work on the basis that the company pays about a 56-cent dividend in the next 12 months, puts the stock just under a 5% dividend yield. So on that basis, it seems fair value. But again, if this CPI data is a little bit weaker, then stocks like Sydney, Transurban, Westfield will do better. CBA has gone ex-dividend today, so let's have a quick look at the chart there on CBA. It was recently added to the model portfolio. You can see the algo buy signal there. IAG delivered a very good result this morning. This is one that we have in our client portfolios and it sits in our model. Now, we'd been a little bit cautious on this and we'd sold the 750 covered calls. So there's an article that we're publishing on the blog today with a bit more detail around IAG, but their insurance margins came in well ahead of expectations. Link, I've been drawing your attention to this one a couple of times over the last week or two, but down here to around 850, I think this ends up developing as a support level in Link. And just one more that we've commented on a week or two back, but is InvoCare coming into their earnings result. We're seeing the stock rally from sort of this 1450 level up to 1550. And we'll conclude with just a quick look at the XJO and see the patterns. So based on our view that the US equity market's moving into an area where it's likely to run into some resistance, we have to sort of share that view or opinion across the XJO. So at around 5850 to 5900, we'd expect the index to run into some resistance and either consolidate or move marginally lower. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that in the coming days. Thank you for listening in.